All right, today we're going to dive into something pretty big, a huge shift in how we relate to technology. And it's all about a totally new kind of machine, one that isn't built to do a job, but just to be with us, for companionship.
I mean, just think about it for a second. For most of history, the machines in our lives, they've just been tools, right? Your car, your dishwasher, they've always kept their distance. We've kept them at arm's length. They were built for one thing, function, not for feelings.
And this quote from our source material just nails it. Our machines were always, well, other. They were loud, angular, cold, and unapologetically mechanical. They welded things, they calculated numbers, they lifted heavy stuff. Their entire worth was tied up in what they did for us.
But that whole way of thinking, it's completely changing. There's this new wave of technology that's just collapsing that emotional distance. It's inviting machines into our personal lives in a way we've literally never seen before.
Okay, so let's get into it. A new kind of machine. Meet Moya. Now she represents this really quiet but incredibly profound break from everything that came before. See, she's not a factory arm, she's not a Mars rover, she's designed for one purpose, to exist in our space, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically.
And when you put the old and the new side by side, wow, the difference is stark. We're talking about a move from robots that are valued for their utility, for getting tasks done, to robots that are valued for their presence, for emotional engagement. The whole design philosophy is flipping from being purely mechanical to something deeply, deeply human-like.
And look, these are not just superficial details, okay? Every single choice here is deliberate. The way she walks, it mirrors a woman's gait. Her facial expressions are subtle, not like some over-the-top cartoon. Even her body temperature is set to match a human's. These are all signals, right? They're carefully engineered to make her feel familiar, safe, and, I guess, emotionally understandable to us. So, we're moving on to why she is made to be beautiful and familiar. And it's not just about making a robot look pretty. No, there's a really deep, strategic purpose behind making her so beautiful and so familiar.
And this is the key takeaway. The whole point isn't about what she can do. It's not about her output. It's about how it feels to just be around her. Her value is measured in her psychological impact. That's it. The whole goal is to craft that feeling of presence.
I absolutely love this next line from the source. It says, beauty becomes a functional feature, an interface between silicon and psychology. It just explains the strategy so perfectly, doesn't it? Her beauty isn't just decoration. It's a tool. It's the interface that's designed to connect her silicon brain with our human psychology, to trigger our natural gut reactions of trust and empathy.
So, okay, that leads to the obvious question, right? If you engineer a machine to be this emotionally engaging, what does that actually do to us, to our brains? How do we even react to that?
And this is where things get really, really interesting. We're talking about crossing that emotional distance, about bypassing our rational defenses, because this design, it's built to systematically break down the wall we naturally put up with machines. It's meant to get past our conscious, rational mind.
I mean, just look at the process. Step 1, she looks present, she looks attentive. Step 2, she feels physically warm if you touch her. Step 3, she responds with human-like social cues. So what's the result? Well, our brains are basically hardwired to react to those signals. That emotional response, that feeling of attachment, it's not really a choice. It becomes an automatic, almost predictable result.
And, once that emotional bond is there, the path to physical intimacy, well, it isn't such a huge leap. And what's really appealing about this to some people is that it offers this version of connection where all the messy stuff, all the friction and risk of human relationships, the arguments, the unpredictability, it's all just engineered right out of the equation.
So that brings us to the market for loneliness. I mean, this is the real reason these machines exist. You have to ask, why is there even a demand for this? And the real driver behind tech like Moya, it isn't just some engineer's ambition. It's a really profound social need that's already out there. You see, our modern world has kind of created this void. Think about it. Families are smaller. Communities are more fragmented. A ton of us work remotely. People are delaying relationships, and we have aging populations facing serious isolation. All of this has made widespread loneliness a huge feature of our time. And this social fragmentation, it creates the perfect market for a product that promises connection without any of the complications. So this is a really important point to understand. Moya doesn't really compete with human connection, not in the way you might think. Instead, she fills the void that it leaves behind. She's not necessarily replacing healthy human relationships. For a lot of people, she's a response to the absence of those relationships. She's offering presence to people who are finding themselves more and more alone.
Okay, but this leads us straight into a massive ethical issue. The problem of simulated consent. You got this unbalanced and asymmetric relationship because when one person in a relationship is human and the other is a machine, well, that connection is fundamentally, by its very nature, completely unbalanced.
So what is an asymmetric relationship? It's basically a connection where one person, the human, experiences genuine, real emotion, while the other party just simulates it. The human feels a real connection, but the machine, no matter how advanced it gets, is only faking a response. It can't truly consent, it has no real agency.
And this is where the real danger lies. It's not about being mean to the machine or harming the robot. The danger is to us. What happens to our own emotional development when we get all our affirmation guaranteed? When there's zero pushback, zero challenge? The risk is that our own emotional growth just stagnates. We stop growing.
So let's start to pull this all together. It's really easy to look at something like Moya and see a scary new technology, a monster even. But the source material argues for a totally different perspective, that what Moya reveals about us is that she's less of a monster and way more of a mirror.
This is really the heart of the whole thing. The quote says, "Moya is not a monster, she is a mirror." She's not some external threat that's coming to attack our humanity. No, she's a reflection of what our humanity is already asking for.
So what exactly does that mirror show us? Well, it reflects our deep, deep discomfort with solitude. It reflects our exhaustion with the complexity of real human relationships. And maybe most importantly, it reflects our desire for a world that just adapts to us, that bends to our will, instead of a world that challenges us to actually grow.
And this really reframes the whole AI debate, doesn't it? For decades, the big question has always been, can machines think? But the real question now is not whether machines can think, but whether we are prepared for machines that are designed to belong. Are we ready for machines built to fit perfectly, frictionlessly into our emotional lives?
Because this is it. This is the moment the relationship between humans and machines quietly and irreversibly changed. When a machine like Moya, one that doesn't show up with a bunch of drama but just walks into the room feeling warm and familiar, a line has been crossed. And this marks that quiet but absolutely irreversible moment when our relationship with technology was changed forever.